Competitive lies. No, non-monopolists tell the opposite lie. We are in a league of our own. Entrepreneurs are always biased to understand the scale of competition, but that is the biggest mistake a startup can make. The fatal temptation is to describe your market extremely narrowly so that you dominate it by definition. Suppose you want to start a restaurant that serves British food in Palo Alto. No one else is doing it. You might reason, well, own the entire market, but that's only true if the relevant market is the market for British food especially. What if the actual market is the Palo Alto restaurant market in general? And what if all the restaurants in nearby towns are part of the relevant market as well? These are the hard questions, but the bigger problem is that you have an incentive not to ask them all at all. When you hear that most new restaurants fail within 1 or 2 years, your instinct will be to come up with a story about how your is different. You'll spend time trying to convince people that you are exceptionally instead of seriously considering whether that's true. It would be better to pause and consider whether there are people in Palo Alto who would rather eat British food above all else. It's very possible they don't exist. In 2001, my co-workers at PayPal and I would often get lunch on Castro Street in Mountain View. We had our pick of restaurants starting with obvious categories like Indian sushi, burgers. There were more options once we settled on a type North Indian or South Indian, cheaper or fancier or so on. I'm contrast to the competitive local restaurant market. PayPal was at that time only email based payment company in the world. We employed fewer people than the restaurants on Castro Street did, but our business was much more valuable than all those restaurants combined. Starting a new South Indian restaurant is really hard way to make money. If you lose sight of competitive reality and focus on tribal differentiating factors, maybe you think your nan is superior because of your great grandmother recipe. Your business is unlikely to survive. Creative industries work this way too. No screenwriter wants to admit that her new movie script simply rehashes what has already been done before. Rather, the pitch is this film will combine variously exciting elements in entirely new ways. It could even be true. Suppose her idea is to have JZ star in the cross between hackers and Jaws. Star joins elite group of hackers to catch the shark that kill his friend. That was definitely never been done before, but like the lack of British restaurant in Palo Alto, maybe that's a good thing. Star, teen hackers, shark. Non-monopolists exaggerate their distinction by defining their market as the intersection of various small markets. British food restaurant, Palo Alto, Star, Hacker, Shark, monopolist by contrast disguise their monopoly by framing their market as the union of several large markets. Search engine, mobile phones, wearable computers, self-driving cars. What does a monopolist union story look like in practice? Consider a statement from Google chairman Eric Schmidt testimony at 2011 congressional hearing. We face an entirely competitive landscape in which consumers have a multitude of options to access information or translate from PR speak to plain English. Google is a small fish in a big pond. We could be swallow whole at any time. We are not the monopoly, but we are not the monopoly that the government is looking for. Ruthless pupil. The problem with a competitive business goes beyond lack of profit. Imagine you are running one of those restaurants in Mountains View. You are not that different from dozens of your competitors. So you got to fight hard to survive. If you offer affordable food with low margins, you can probably pay employees only minimum wage and you will need to squeeze out every efficiency. That why small restaurants put grandma to work at the register and make the kids wash dishes in the back. Restaurants aren't much better even at the very highest rungs where reviews and rating like Michelin star system enforce a culture of intense competitions that can drive chef crazy. French chefs and winner of three Michelin stars Bernard Lucy was quoted as saying, "If I lose a star, I will commit suicide." Michael maintained his rating, but Lucy killed himself anyway in 2003 when a competing French dining guide downgraded his restaurant. The competitive ecosystem pushes people towards recklessness or death. A monopoly like Google is different since it doesn't have to worry about competing with anyone. It has a wider latitude to care about its work, its products, and its impact on the wider world. Google motto, "Don't be evil," is in part a branding ploy, but it's also characteristics of a kind of business that's successful enough to take ethics seriously without jeopardizing its own existence. In business, money is either an important thing or it is a everything. Monopolists can afford to think about things other than making money. Non-monopolist can't. In perfect competition, a business so focused on today margin that it can't possibly plan for a long-term future. Only one thing can allow a business to transcend the daily brute struggle for survival: monopoly profit. Monopoly capitalism. So a monopoly is a good for everyone on the side, but what about everyone on the outside?